Today on Playing a Blinder.
I made this video and some people were not happy. Oh no. What was that video about? Well, it was about First Amendment auditors exercising their rights to film in a public place and their rights to free speech. Now, it wasn't really the video that was the issue, it was more about the comment section, and the overwhelming theme in that comment section was that I had absolutely no right to say what I was saying from people who advocate for free speech. So yeah, I'll just let that sink in for you.
Just unsubscribed. Didn't think you supported tyrannical behaviour from government officials. Creaky, due respect, you do not know American law. He does not have to identify himself, and refusing to do so does not constitute a crime. And Creaky, I would honestly tell you, you're gonna lose a lot of subscribers keeping this video up.
Now, is it because I'm not an American? Because if it is, then that's discrimination. You know, the unjust prejudicial treatment of different categories of people, especially on the grounds of race, age, sex, or disability. And it would seem not being American in this case. Or do I only have freedom of speech until I say something that you don't like? Then it's
shut up, Creaky.
Go nuts on my nuts.
Hi, it's me, Creaky. What do you get when you cross a keyboard lawyer with a First Amendment auditor / sovereign citizen? Will you get a super Karen? Or in the case of today's video, you get a pair of super Karens from the YouTube channel Freedom Lovers TV. So let's talk about it. Tidy!
Do you know what the penal code is for trespassing? Do you know what it is? What is it? 602. Okay, can you show me anywhere in the trespassing penal code of 602 how it is that my friends violated that yesterday?
I don't know what friend you're talking about.
Well, I had two friends. One was actually arrested.
Yes.
Can you show us in here what he violated in the penal code 602?
I didn't arrest
that
him.
would cause you. Okay, well, you're the supervisor.
Doesn't matter. And I don't know this for sure, but based on your own attitude and what I've seen on your channel so far, he or she was probably being a confrontational swipe. And if your complaint is a valid one, which I doubt, wouldn't guilt or innocence need to be proven in a court? And then, if your friend was wrongly arrested, they can seek recompense after proving that in a court of law.
You can show us.
He didn't arrest him.
But you were there.
Okay, well, are you...
Do you have anything else that you need from us?
We want to press charges.
Are you...
Well, if it's federal law that you're trying to press charges on, are you talking, what do you want to press charges on?
Press charges for what crime? There has to be a crime, right?
On the officer and on the post office.
The
That
post
is not a
office,
private
the
property.
post office is the federal government. We don't do federal government laws.
Then why did you come to arrest our friend yesterday?
Your friend
Wasn't.
just.
You can finish.
I'm not trying to be rude. If you guys want to be rude, you guys can be rude. But I, as a public citizen, don't have to listen to you guys being disrespectful or rude.
Oh, absolutely you do. You're
No,
public
I don't.
servants. You work for us.
Public servants doesn't give you the authority to scream and yell at us.
Now, apologies for the sound. These Karens obviously have never heard of microphones or editing their footage to make it more audibly pleasing. So being a public servant means that they just have to stand there and take your crap? What about the fact that they're also just people doing a job that they're paid to do?
So,
We're not
so
yelling.
what I'm trying to tell you is, from my understanding, just so you know that I wasn't there, I was told he left the building. He was told by the officer to leave the building as a representative of the post office. He came back in and then refused to leave for trespassing. That's it.
Now, in many of these types of videos, I've seen the auditors banging on about Poster 7, so I've taken a look at it, and when it comes to photography, in my opinion, it really is open to interpretation. Photographs for news purposes may be taken in entrances, lobbies, foyers, corridors, or auditoriums when used for public meetings, except where prohibited by official signs or security force personnel or other authorized personnel, i.e. the police officers. So the way that I'm reading it is that if you're told not to do it, then you shouldn't. But obviously, me being not American, I must be wrong and shut up immediately.
Okay, so can you explain why it is that you were willing to arrest him, but now you're claiming that you don't have jurisdiction over a federal
No,
building?
we don't have jurisdiction for what the federal code is. If you have a complaint against the post office, I can't do anything about that. You have to take it up with the federal government.
He just told you He wasn't there. So no, he probably can't explain, can he? And whether this officer who wasn't there has jurisdiction or not is irrelevant. It sounds as if the post office employees called the cops. So again, they were there responding to a complaint. And as law enforcement officers, they're duty bound to investigate.
Okay, so in other words, you can arrest private citizens on federal land.
If they've been
Okay,
asked to leave,
you
if you
just-
can read the thing.
Okay.
Do you know what the guidelines are for the post office? You might want to look those up.
Okay, but I just
No, no,
I,
no,
I,
wait, wait,
I
wait,
just
wait,
I
wait,
just
wait,
want to
wait,
be
wait,
clear.
wait.
You work for me. You
Wait,
need,
wait,
you know what,
wait,
you need to
wait,
hold on to.
Funny, she doesn't look like the chief of police. How the hell does this cop work for you? Oh yeah, that's right, you pay his salary, don't you? All by yourself. Or maybe with the help of the other idiot Karens and First Amendment auditors that go out with the sole intention of disrupting the police and other people's days, just because they can. It's a pity you weren't as keen to ask yourselves whether or not you should.
Okay, then I think you should probably take these
I don't
with
need
you.
those papers. But like I
Oh,
said,
actually
if
you
you
do.
would
It
like,
doesn't
you
matter
can
if
look on
you
the
take them
post
or
office.
not.
If you look on the post office,
This is Title
Ma'am,
42. It
just
gives
let me-
us the ability to sue you
yeah,
guys.
that's fine.
right?
Sue us. That's, you have the
No,
every
I
right to
think
that.
that you really need to know
So,
about this
You need
because
to
we're
look up
angry
the-
and we're
you
going
look
to do
up
this.
the guidelines
This is
for the
Title
post office. They
242,
tell you what you guys
which is
can
the
and can't do.
deprivation of rights under
There's
color
actually
of
a
law.
page that says what you're allowed to do. So you might want to look for those.
Did you know
He's talking about Poster 7. Even a non-American like me can look that up, as I showed earlier.
notice that when you walk into the post office, it says everywhere recommended. It
No, no.
doesn't say it's the law.
No, there's
It's
actual
not the law.
guidelines with the post office. It's actually article number 7. You might want
So
to look it
can
up.
you show us in here how it is that you violated that?
They can't
He
show
got
us 'cause
arrested
they don't
for
know.
trespassing.
So you were
He was
gonna-
asked
you
to
were gonna-
leave,
This
and
is
he
the
refused to
this
leave,
is
and he
the
was
penal
arrested.
code for trespassing.
I know. I just told you that.
Can you
So,
explain?
I just
You arrested him, so
I did not arrest him.
But
Stop making accusations that I arrested
okay,
somebody.
you are responsible
So again,
for your
we're
subordinates,
here.
correct?
I'm trying to ask you your questions.
Okay, so can you
So if
please
you have those complaints,
show
you
us
can take
where
it up with
in
the
It's not a
the
trust-
complaint.
Right, now, in my opinion, which I know makes absolutely no difference because, well, I'm just not American enough, the police officer is allowing himself to be drawn into an argument with this lovely lady, and I personally think that when you allow things to escalate like that, you're onto a loser because it prevents you from thinking logically and it has the tendency to make you say the wrong thing. And I know the police are human as well, but I really think this officer is making a mistake by allowing this horrible woman, this Karen, to fire him up, and he's essentially playing right into her hands.
What is your? Well, I'm
We
not
are
arresting.
pressing charges on
Can you
Mendoza.
show us
I'm
where
not-
in the penal code?
So are you telling me that
pressing
you're not
charges
gonna? You're not.
I'm not going to affect your citizen's arrest. No.
Okay.
That's
So
what
you're
you're asking.
refusing to do
Okay,
your job.
so can you
I'm not
can
refusing
you,
to do my job.
Can you
You might
show
want to read
us
the
where
citizen's
it is
arrest.
in the
Look
penal
what's
code that he trespassed?
He was asked to leave the property.
Can
he
you show
refused
can
to
you
leave.
show it to me?
I'm not. You have the section. You can read it.
Read it yourself, you're the keyboard lawyer. This guy is just a lowly civil servant.
We read it. We don't see anything there.
You're the one who
Ma'am,
violated our rights.
Again, did I violate anyone's rights?
Your officer
Are you
did.
the supervisor?
Yes.
You are responsible for all the actions of your subordinates while they are working here.
Right, let's use Karen's own logic on her. Judging by the fact that the dark-haired lady seems to be taking all her cues from the super Karen, I think we can safely assume that she is the boss Karen, making the other lady her subordinate, yeah? So, if the dark-haired lady goes out tonight and burgles a house, is it right that the super Karen gets blamed for allowing her to do it? Even though she may not have known that she was gonna do it or even have been there. She had no prior knowledge that she was going out burgling that night. And if it turns out that you're right and this officer is wrong, then yes, as his superior, he would need to act accordingly to put things right. But certainly shouldn't be held accountable for someone else's actions. You keep asking him things you know he's already told you multiple times he can't answer because he wasn't there.
That's right. And he went into a federal
Yes.
building out of his jurisdiction.
No, it's not out of
And
jurisdiction.
you said you
Okay,
were going
so-
to report the files.
So you think that if somebody working in the post office calls the cops because they need police assistance, that when the police get there they can't act because it's not within their jurisdiction? Just how much of an idiot are you? No, actually don't answer that. I don't want to sway anyone else's opinion. I think the people that watch my channel are smart enough to be able to pick out an idiot for themselves.
Okay, so if you guys have any other questions, otherwise
Yes,
we're done here.
yes, I do
Okay,
have a
what's
question.
your next question? And
The
I'm not
question
going to read
is-
anything from 602. So if you have any other questions,
Can you please
ask.
explain to us where in the Penal Code
No,
602?
I'm not. You have the penal code section there. You can read it yourself.
Because there's nothing in here
I
that
didn't
would
say there's
allow
nothing in
you to unlawfully imprison my friend.
Okay.
In your opinion, which doesn't make it right, and I know what you're gonna say, but Creaky, you're giving your opinion. Well, yes I am. But unlike this Karen, I thought long and hard about whether I should. I knew I could, but me not being a complete douchebag, I took some time to think about whether or not I should.
Well,
You
can take it up with whatever means you guys need
have
to, okay?
violated
So you're not
our
gonna-
rights.
So you're not
I
gonna.
haven't violated your rights.
How has he? I don't understand, unless of course it's your right to act like an entitled, self-important know-it-all.
You're trying to affect the citizen's arrest. You can read the penal code section for that. I'm not affecting any citizen's arrest. We're not authorizing your citizen's arrest. If you would like to do whatever else you want to do when you say you're going to sue, you have every right to do that. Feel free to do that. If you have anything else for us, I can
You
help you out
guys
with.
are
If
not
you
going
don't,
to
then we
take
have
that
stuff to do.
seriously until we drop Title 42 federal lawsuits on your...
So, Title 42, Section 1983 provides an individual with the right to sue state government employees for civil rights violations. So, you want to sue this police officer on your arrested friend's behalf for violating his right to break the law by trespassing. Because when he refused to leave the post office, in my opinion, as a non-American of course, that's what he was doing. Trespassing.
desk.
Okay.
And then you're going to be very upset and freaking out about it, and we're trying to stop that. Because
We
we're
don't want to come after
studying.
you personally, but we will.
Okay. Well, you guys have every right to, so you need to do what you need to do. And
Did you guys take an oath to the Constitution?
Okay. Are we
Did
done?
you?
Have a nice
No,
day.
no. Did you take an oath to the Constitution? Aren't you supposed to be protecting us, our rights, against tyrants?
And that's how you beat a Karen. Just walk away. Trust me, I've been married 28 years and the one thing I've learned for sure is that the best way to diffuse an argument while simultaneously upsetting your wife, or in this case the Karen, is to just walk away and leave them to it. Who are they going to argue with then?
Hey, ma'am, right now you're yelling at me, and I told
Foreign
you that
and domestic, I don't care.
Have a nice
A
day.
belligerent woman still has her rights.
So you're
Which
not
I
gonna
told you
file
guys can
any
do.
reports. You're not going to help
We
us
have
with
an
any
arrest.
other
We have an arrest
reports.
report.
You guys have become the
You guys have
criminals.
anything else
Is
you need
this
to-
what you wanted when you took an
I'm not here
oath?
to argue with you.
Yes, you are. You're supposed to indulge
Have a
me.
nice
You
day.
work for me. We're your
Have a nice day.
masters.
Did she actually just say that she is their master, making the police officers her servants? Well, yes, they're public servants, but in my opinion, choosing a life of servitude does not imply ownership by the people who don't choose that career path. I'm absolutely lost for words. No, I'm not actually lost for words, I can't lie to you, I'm never lost for words. But come on, saying you're someone's master is at the very least highly inappropriate under any circumstances.
We are your masters.
You're
You're
the
not
criminal.
dismissed.
You are the criminals, and you're not dismissed, Evans.
And if all else fails, you can always start acting like a naughty child.
You deserve everything that's coming to you.
And of course, what Karen video would be complete without a threat thrown in for good measure? Yeah, laugh it up, Karen. Let's see how funny you think a criminal record is. Now, I know that we all, and I do mean all, even people that aren't from the USA, have the right to go about our day as we choose, say whatever we want, whenever we want. But remember this, Karens of the world and First Amendment auditors and all other douchebags. Free speech isn't always free of consequences. Just ask your friend, you know, the one that's in jail because he got arrested yesterday for trying to prove a really stupid point. And while we're talking about points, what exactly is the point of this video? Well, I did seriously give this a lot of thought before making the video. I made the First Amendment auditor video, and based off the reaction it got, I decided that I wasn't going to make any more. But that didn't last very long, because it occurred to me, the very same people who were fighting for freedom of speech were the ones telling me to shut up. Now, I seriously doubt that any of those people will have got this far into the video anyway, but if you have, just bear that in mind before you hop down to the comment section now and slate me for saying what I choose to say about this topic. I'm not dismissing the fact that some American police really need to be taken to task over their behaviour. I know they do, but there have got to be better ways of doing it. Because from my viewpoint, First Amendment auditors seem similar in the way that they behave and deal with the police to vigilantes that go out trying to fight crime for themselves. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm the Creaky Blinder. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on bell notifications, and definitely like this video, and I will see you next time. Take care, love you, bye.
Alright, watch this next. But before you do, make sure you subscribe. By order of the Creaky Blinder.